Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. So I have exciting news.
Do tell.
We are getting a new member of the family.
A new member of the family? What are you getting?
Brad and I have been looking for a dog, which is a huge undertaking with how many children and responsibilities we have. But we haven't had a dog in over a year.
Oh, yeah.
And my dog passed away 2 years ago. So I've been missing my little buddy. And so we've been like going back and forth. And so for like one minute, I'll be like, I want a dog. And then the next minute, Brad's like, I want a dog. And then I'm like, no, I don't. And then and so it keeps going back and forth. And we actually haven't been on the same page until this past like month, where we're like, okay, the kids are old enough.
Yeah.
They're not so needy. I think we can do a dog, right?
Yeah.
So the search began, and we went to a few different shelters, and then I've been looking on like petfinder.com, and then there's like adoptapet.com. So I've been kind of looking around, and that's how I found Piper before, like 10 years ago. So that was just, we're just trying to, look around, just kind of keep our ears open and look around and just see. And randomly on the other day, Brad was like, well, there's a shelter right next to where we work, but it's only open between 1 and 3.
Wow.
Or 1 and 4. It's like, it's not ever
limited
open.
Limited hours.
And to the point when I was looking for my dog, my Piper, like 10 years ago,
And Piper is the dog that passed away 2 years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
When I was looking for a dog then, Brad said, oh yeah, well, we'll go by work. There's one right there. And it was never open. And so I kind of just thought that it was like maybe the main hub of the Humane Society, and
like
they filtered out. No, that the animals were there, but they it was like intake. And then they would like send them off to different humane societies from there or something.
Or foster homes or something.
Something, or like that's where they went to just get their pictures taken, check, doctors, etc., like vets,
Yeah.
And so we went, and we had my 3-year-old, and the other 2 boys were at school, and we went and looked through, and it was exactly like what you see in like movies. I've never been to a humane society before, I guess, like that. Like you go into the building, it's a huge building, like Costco size building, and there's just rows and rows and rows and rows of dogs.
Wow. Now they only have dogs at this
No,
shelter?
they have, oh my gosh, cats and rabbits and I want to say turtles, but that was the pet store.
Okay.
We went to the pet store afterwards. So
like just like the more domestic, like not that turtles not domesticated, but more like your dogs and your cats and your birds.
But they had a lot of rabbits. They had more rabbits than I thought that they would. They had cute little puppies. They had a pack of huskies outside. There was like 5 of them outside, just like in the yard outside, just like running amok.
Oh,
and it was just so cute. And
that would like break my heart because I want to take them all
of them. So there was this dog that didn't have a name. It was in the cage with another dog. And that dog had like everything, because when you go, it's all listed with their picture, and it has their name, their age, male, female, good with kids, whatever, just like bio,
Yeah.
Like,
so you can
just
get to know
quick stats. And so my husband is allergic to dogs and cats, like severely to cats. Dogs, he's kind of like, it depends on the fur, dander, etc. So long-haired dogs he is not okay with. But I found a shaggy dog that was a poodle. So poodle fur is hyperallergenic. So I was like, we can get it. And Brad was like, that is the ugliest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, but it's so cute.
Those like snickerdoodle dogs?
I don't know. It was a big dog though.
I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, like a 50-pound
They're
dog.
kind of like trending right now for like pets.
Well, go down to the Humane Society. They have like 3 or 4 out of the 100 dogs that we saw.
I call them snickerdoodle dogs, but
yeah.
I don't know what they're called.
They're really big, but they don't look like, they look like a Shaggy dog and a poodle mix.
Yeah.
Like they're like that size of Shaggy dog, but they're like poodle. Like, I don't know.
No,
But-
I know exactly what we're talking about. So many I don't want to say like influencers, but kind of like on Instagram, like everybody has that dog.
Yeah, well,
I don't know
so
why.
I saw this dog, not the snickerdoodle poodle dog. I saw a different dog, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. And one of our what we need is a girl dog because a boy pees we found out by puppy sitting other dogs, friends' dogs. 'Cause we have friends' dogs that always come over into our yard. We have a huge ass yard. It's like perfect for kids and dogs.
Yeah, and you already have enough boys in your house.
Yeah, well, and so the boy dogs will lift their legs and pee on the kids' toys, slide, trampolines.
They're
like,
marking their territory.
yeah, and so literally like peeing on the slide, so the boys will come down the slide and they're landing dog pee.
Yeah, no.
And so we're like, we need a girl. Like, sorry, but like that's like what we need.
Yeah.
So so I saw this dog, and it's a cute black and white dog. And Brad was like, oh, there's no name. There's no da-da-da-da. Is it even a girl? And I, like, look under, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's a girl. I don't see nothing hanging. So this was, like, the second row of kennels. So we had, like, 8 more to go. We found 2 other dogs, and one was already spoken for, and the other one was, a 6-year-old Catahoula.
Oh.
Which, you know how I feel about Catahulas,
Yes.
but this one was a white one.
Oh.
But I'm still like, oh, it's a Catahoula. But
Yeah.
then when we went back up to the front to talk to them about it, and they were like, no, that Catahoula had issues, was chewing everything up, barking all the time, and we were like, yep, that's a Catahoula.
Yeah.
Like, that tracks. All right, well, what about this other dog that has no name? Where'd it come from? And they said that it came from like some place that was hoarding or something. Like they were like hoarding, or they had like too many dogs. The dog had no name. They don't even know how old the dog is. But when we went to go meet the dog was super like definitely potty trained. Which is like major for us. Like we keep the doors open in our house so they can come and go, or you know, dogs can go in and out, and kids in and out, and we live in a very like safe little area. And so they the dogs just, the potty training is like, I don't want to deal with that. I deal with that with the kids. I'm like getting over that. Like
yeah, you're not.
I'm like, I don't want to potty train a dog. I can't. I'm sorry. So,
but the dog is like really sweet.
But the dog is super sweet. Jake, when we went to go see the dog, it was like I said, it's only open from 1 to 3 or 4. 2 o'clock, Jake just had lunch. He's like done for the day, and he's like, why am I in this location? I am supposed to be either at home or sitting in mommy's office in my comfy chair, chilling. I'm not supposed to be out and about right now, dude. Hello, look at the time. And so he's just like in the corner like, fuck this shit. And the dog went up and sniffed him, and for the first time ever, he wasn't like, no. He was just like, and the dog was like, and then walked away. So the dog didn't like jump on the kid or like nothing like crazy.
That's good.
So that was like a super good sign, and we were just like, we want her.
Especially because he's your littlest, so if
the
he's
littlest.
Interacting well with the youngest, then you know.
The older ones will be fine, right? And so, so it's a black and white dog, and I think that they're not sure her age. They know she's like a year, but they don't know like a year and a half or how old. And she has, you can see like her nipples on, like her 8 like nipples on her belly, and they're pretty protruded. So I'm like, oh, did she have
kind of swollen?
Did she already? Like, did she have a litter? And they're like, we don't know. She was brought to us because like the police took her from wherever she was or whatever. So we don't know her name. We don't know anything. She hasn't even been in the system yet. And we don't know anything about this dog.
a big possibility that if it was like a situation, it could be like a hoarder situation, like you said, but what if it was like a breeder situation where like they had too many that they could keep up with? Maybe she did have puppies and there was like other dogs that had multiple puppies and they just couldn't keep up with it or something.
Too much going on. Yeah, I'm not sure. But so I wanted to name her Georgia. Brad was like, that's stupid. And I was like, well, it's like a Georgia peach. And so Brad was like, Peaches, perfect. So we named the dog Peaches, but we couldn't take her home because she has to get spayed.
Well, that's good.
So they're keeping her to get spayed, and then we get her in a few days, and she will be part of our family. Peaches.
Oh, how sweet. I can't wait to meet her.
We already bought her all the goodies. I picked up the boys afterwards, and we went to the the dog store, and got the bed.
Well, yeah, that is a toy store, though.
But each boy got to pick out a toy for Peaches.
Yeah.
And they're like, we can't wait to pick up Peaches and our new dog Peaches. And they've never even seen Peaches, but they're just like, Peaches.
Well, they're so excited. They love animals, and they're so excited to have the addition to the
Coco,
family.
Cody is just the little vet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's just like, oh, it's so cute. He's like the little love bug. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be really fun. I am, like, sad that we didn't get to bring her home right away, but
it'll be better because then you don't have to worry about, like, one day you come home and she's pregnant and you have to deal with a bunch of puppies.
Yeah, no, of course. And they're going to microchip her. And, they just have to get her, like, prepared. Because we saw her, like, she'd just come in there, like, 4 days prior. And that's why I got
lucky.
Yeah, because I was like, we got lucky that we randomly.
You both did, but the fact that like she's getting home so fast.
Yeah, that way she doesn't have any like fucked up like.
She won't be traumatized.
Shelter issues. So yeah, that's my doggy story. So we're super excited and. Sorry, I'm yapping on.
Don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Bye.
No.
That's my doggy story.
That's my doggy story. Sorry, well, no, I just looked at the time, and it's like 12 minutes in, and I'm just, like, yapping about my dog. But it is the cutest. It's a black and white dog, and she's 48 pounds, so she's bigger, but she's not, I think she's more
what kind of breed is she?
Oh. I don't know anything about her. She's not pit. She's just like a mutt. Like she's short hair, so Brad can handle her
she's
allergies.
Be a medium-sized dog.
Yeah, like she's 48.
Dog.
I got a Piper when she was 10 months old, and she was 45 pounds. And she grew and she was about the same height as this dog, and she grew 2 inches, and she went up to 55 pounds.
Okay.
So this dog is already a year old. They know that. They just don't know, like, if she's almost 2 or, like, I mean, with Piper, I knew her exact date of birth, pretty much, you know?
Oh, yeah. That was a different situation.
Yeah, I got, like, all of her hospital records and just, like, everything about her. But, so, I don't know. But I'm, like, I don't know what kind of dog.
So what are you going to make her birthday? You can make her birthday then.
I think I don't know. I'm going to talk to them more about it. And I think that they need to look a little more into it. And I still have to register her with the city.
But you can make her birthday whatever you want. You can make it like the day that you got her plus a year. It's like, you know what I mean? Like,
for 2? No. I guess I'll maybe make her like 18 months. I don't know. I don't know how to do that. I've never had to. I've only had one other dog that I've been responsible for. This is my second like real dog.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm super excited. Anyways, okay.
I'm excited for you. I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah, thank you. I'll post pictures.
Yes.
Don't worry, guys.
See her in real life.
Yeah.
I wonder how she's gonna do with the other dog.
Oh, fine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The other dog is my son's dog is Bones, and she's a puppy. She's a year and a half. They're probably like the same age actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then my mother-in-law has a husky, but she's like 6, and she's like a permanent puppy. Like she's like the smallest husky I've ever seen in my goddamn life. She's like a chow husky mix.
And she's really chill.
She's super chill. They're all super chill. Well, no. She's super chill. Bones is not.
Bones is chill, but Bones just communicates a lot.
Okay. Bones is like jumpy and stuff.
I know, but that's how Bones communicate.
Yeah, and that's fine. They'll have a lot of fun. So she'll be perfect in our family. So she'll just go right in. Yeah, our mother-in-law doesn't live with us. My oldest son doesn't live with us. But they're always just over.
But the dogs
are always
they
over.
Will see each other.
My yard is huge. My yard is huge. And I'll come home to random kids and dogs in my yard because people just drop kids and dogs off in my yard because it's perfect for kids and dogs. So, not little kids. They don't leave little kids alone in my house. But ages 10 and up. We'll be left alone.
We'll be left alone.
They'll just be like, I'll come home and they'll be like chilling on the trampoline.
Yeah, they'll be like jumping on the trampoline, going down the zip line.
Yeah, like I have a huge backyard.
Like,
I have like a 3-story play set.
Played in the sand pit.
Yeah, like it's so ridiculous. The park cove.
Lay in the hammock. I mean,
the other swing thing.
What else you got?
The swing thing.
Play pool in the front.
Yeah, at the Pirate Cove. Anyways, so on to what we're actually talking about today, now that we are 15 minutes in. So should we shorten this or just leave it be?
No, just leave it. People like animals.
And if you've made it this far, obviously you love our voice. Yeah. So that's a thing.
And if you don't like dogs, just fast forward it to like the...
Well, it's too late now. They're already here.
Well, tell your friends just to fast forward it to this... Tag it for your friends or whatever to go to like 16:25.
We should probably just put it and be like, first 15 minutes about cute puppy.
We're at 16:27.
Whatever. Now. They can figure it out from there. Okay, so this episode is about the moon landing. Did it happen? Did it not? Let's find out. There's obviously been like a lot of conspiracies surrounding the moon landing, and I feel like this is like Conspiracies 101.
Oh, yeah.
We're so deep in conspiracies that it seems like so silly to even do it, but we're talking about aliens lately, like a lot, and with the whole Las Vegas alien thing, why not do the moon?
I'm so excited that you did the moon landing because I want to know, like, what you found about it, because I have my own theories.
Well, so... I was more like, not only like, did it really happen, but like, why it happened, and then why would they say it happened if it didn't happen?
My thing is, what is the moon?
All right, so meanwhile, let's just get into it, because there's a lot to like cover as just not what is the moon, because I don't think it is cheese. But, so here's a quick history about the moon landing. 54 years ago, on July 16th, 1969, astronauts Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin boarded spaceship Apollo 11 at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So FYI, all the Apollo missions are to go to the moon. Oh. So everything before Apollo 11 was like thoughts and ideas and how to get to the moon, and they just didn't quite make it. Okay? So... fun fact. And then since like then there's been Apollo missions after.
Okay.
So what wasn't the movie with Bruce Willis? Wasn't that Apollo 13?
Yeah, there was some Apollo.
Yeah, there was Apollo because Apollo is the moon mission. So anytime that they're on the way to the moon, it's an Apollo mission.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. Which is interesting. I actually knew that before I started writing this, but I just recently found that out within the past like 6 months probably, that all Apollo missions. But anyways, so this Apollo 11 rocket was a 3-stage, 363-foot rocket.
Oh, wow.
That used 7.5 million pounds of thrust to propel them into space on their epic journey to the moon.
Isn't that amazing that, like, human beings could be put through that much force? Like, they're inside of it, and, like, the G-force and the force that they're, like... I don't even know how they survive that.
I literally, earlier, I was at my workout thing. We had to jump from the ground and, like, go from a squat to jump up, like, 24 inches, 2 feet.
Yeah.
Which, okay, guys, 2 feet, nothing, whatever. No, I couldn't.
It's difficult.
I just fell over myself, so we shortened it. And I think that I did like the 12-inch one, maybe.
You'll get there, yeah.
But the guy next to me was like he's like, you have to thrust from your hips. You gotta put your butt together and just thrust up. And he's all doing like the 4-foot one, and I'm like, you're psycho. Like, and so whenever you're like the thrust, and I'm like, oh my God, I have no thrust. There's nothing. I ain't got no thrust.
I just like, I can't imagine like, it reminds me of like when you go to Magic Mountain too, and you go on the Superman ride, and it just goes like straight up, and you're just like to the back of the seat.
Yeah.
That's like in like, what, 3 seconds you're at the top, and then you fall back down?
Well, it's just like Brad in his race car, and then whenever I was in the double race car, the Proud American.
Your face is all
no, I was like, dude, we're going so fast. It only went 125 miles an hour, and my stomach dropped. And this is on a drag strip, and it took 12 seconds. My husband does that same thing in 6 seconds going 200. My friend, my friend does 230 miles an hour in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
No. You say yeah.
No, I'm just saying, and like, I get it. It's crazy.
That's when I realized that I will never be, like, a legit drag. Like, I could do a door car, but I could never do the dragster. Nope. I could never be on the NHRA Top Fuel. I can't do it.
And you'd never want to be an astronaut because the forces of this.
Well, so I think that with the astronauts in the space, they do it kind of for you, but with the car, you're still in control. You have to steer it and shift. All at the same time.
Yeah.
Brad
shifts. They have to
do some things, yeah. Because in 6 seconds, Brad shifts 3 or 4 times, and then lets out the parachute and steers the car.
I would probably just pass out in like 2 seconds, and all that shit would never happen.
That's correct. And then you would go up,
and then hopefully the parachute would go, and I'd live.
No, you would not. The parachute would not go. What would happen is that your fire suit, when you hit the wall and you went up in flames, which you wouldn't be able to see the flames because it would be running on alcohol, which doesn't burn with flames. It burns invisible. And
Wait, what? Say that again.
Alcohol doesn't, you can't see it. You can't see alcohol burning.
So how do you know if you're on fire? Just by the heat?
You don't.
How do you know if there is a fire, is what I mean.
Because the car crashes.
Yeah.
And if there's a fire, then the person, like Brad can pull the extinguisher.
But how does he know there's a fire? Because he just feels the warmth?
Yeah, if things go bad, then feeling it, I guess. I don't fucking know.
Well, I'm just curious because, like,
I don't know. You have to ask Brad. I don't know. So, anyways, so they went to the moon. They left on July 16th. 4 days later, on July 20th, 1969, they land, and Buzz Aldrin takes the infamous videos and pictures of Neil Armstrong walking on the moon, and Neil Armstrong says his infamous words that would stay in history for the rest of our lifetime. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. They collected specimens and moon rocks and headed back to Earth, landing on July 24th, 1969 in the waters near Hawaii. So it was only like an 8-day trip. Like, it was pretty short when you think about it. After this first moon landing, there would be 10 more astronauts to step foot on the moon in the next 3.5 years. So the question,
that's kind of a lot. 3.5 years.
Well, yeah, it's almost like momentum. Like, once you do it once, you're like, whoa, let's just do it again.
That's pretty cool, though. I didn't realize there was that many in that short time span.
So, question: did they really go to the moon? Was the entire moon landing a hoax, and was actually filmed in a studio here on Earth, and that special effects were used?
I mean,
well, like, looking at how lifelike CGI and special effects have come now, I could totally believe it. But back then, did we have that kind of technology? I mean, like, obviously the government has way more advanced technology than they let on.
That's true.
But
that's very true.
Could they be withholding technology for 50 years? Like, they don't usually withhold that kind of CGI technology for 50 years.
I gotta think what movies were out at the time and what those movies looked like.
So, yeah. But it wouldn't be comparable until like 2000s.
Because if they were filmed in a studio in Hollywood on a back lot or somewhere, like people have claimed, then it would have to be, like you said, comparable to what they can do with the cameras at the time and the CGI, and what movies were out at that time that you could say, like, oh yeah, this movie proves because they could superimpose or whatever. I don't even know the fact name.
Not for... 40, 50 years later.
Because what year was this? 1969? 1969?
Yup. So...
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's just something to think about. So... I'm not like a tech major, obviously.
Yeah,
so
me neither. That's why I'm just
think about that.
Trying to think about
not
movies.
Not a CGI animator, so I don't fully know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I'll go into give as much information as I can about that. According to NASA, Apollo 11 had a Westinghouse camera on board. NASA had paid $2.29 million to Westinghouse Company to develop a lightweight black and white camera to make it to the moon to film.
Oh,
so they had to take the camera.
Special camera made.
Yeah, and they chose that company because the Westinghouse Company had just developed a low light filming technique.
Okay. Oh, because it would be lower light.
Yeah,
there.
and the film looks very fuzzy because it was a live feed.
It was a live feed?
And it was only able to transmit to California and Australia. Due to the location of the moon landing in accordance with the Earth. So California and Australia saw it first. And then it had to be transmitted over other places.
I never knew that it was supposedly a live feed.
And it was the most viewed, thing.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
Yeah. It was, the most viewed thing.
That.
Everybody. Yeah. So the camera was stored for flight in the Modular Equipment Stowage Assembly, a.k.a. MESA, which was a compartment near the ladder that Armstrong climbed down when he landed and took his first steps on the moon. There was a handle that he pulled that would release the door to the mesa.
Okay.
So as he went down.
So it's very accessible. That makes sense.
Yeah. Who's to say it wasn't filmed on Earth? I mean, no one can really prove one way or another. So let's look at the physical aspects.
Sure.
Okay? Because obviously the film, grainy, whatever, we don't...
to try to analyze the film, we wouldn't even be able to analyze the film.
No, I don't think I know I can't.
That's what I mean.
I'm not a fucking... So let's do things that I can do.
Yeah.
So, one question people have asked is why the flag would be swaying in the air.
Okay, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
As it is in the film. It looks like it's swaying, it's flapping in the wind.
Yeah, where's the wind coming from?
So apparently they engineered a special flagpole with one pole going vertical up and down like a normal flagpole.
Okay.
Then another going across the top of the flag in order to have it hang down. So almost
so the flag would hang the correct way.
Yeah.
Otherwise.
Not relying on wind to display it. So picture two sides of a picture frame, 4 sides of a picture frame.
Yeah.
Just remove the bottom and the right side.
No, I completely understand
just the top
what you're
and
saying.
the side. Yeah.
Just so the flag is hanged properly.
Yeah. So the flag and pole were modified to be as light as possible. So everything they were doing, the camera, everything had to be really light to make it to space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that makes. Think about when you go on an airplane. They're you need
to
remove
you
things
can't
from
do
your
this,
carry-on, or whatever.
Yeah, you can't do this. You can't do this. You need to take this off. You need to pay more for this because the fuel is going to be this small. Now because you weigh 500 pounds, it's going to be 5 more minutes to get there and.
Yeah, and then go to space. They have a very limited what they can bring with them.
Yeah, and the finished weight was 9 pounds 7 ounces. They also had the pole folded up to make it more compact because they didn't have a lot of room either.
Yeah.
The idea was that when they arrived on the moon, they would unfold the pole and make it erect and put the flag onto the pole on the moon. There was a red mark on the pole, the vertical pole part, that was at the 18-inch height mark on the actual vertical pole, and this line served as to how far the pole had to be implanted into the moon.
Oh, so they are.
So then that way the elements hopefully wouldn't destroy the flagpole, and the flagpole was installed using a lunar geographical hammer that was already on board.
Okay.
So they're trying to like think of ways like, what can we use that's already here? Like, could you imagine being the team that's doing that? Like, this is my job, guys. I'm making a flag to the moon.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's really cool just to be like, that is my small piece of history.
That's my flag.
There it is. I made the flag.
Or just to come up with like the logistics of
the
how
engineering
we're gonna do
and
this.
stuff. Yeah. So during testing, they noticed that Armstrong and Aldrin both had issues with pulling the top frame of the flagpole fully out. They were short about 6 to 8 inches.
And they're trying to do this in full gear on an
And
alien planet. Not alien planet, but
on
like
the moon.
I know, but like a totally different atmosphere, totally different everything. And there's big gloves.
Yeah,
like,
so we'll get into all that. We'll get into the space suit.
Anything with that?
Yeah, we'll get into the space suit in a minute. But so they when they were practicing on Earth, they noticed that the flagpole wasn't coming all the way like out.
Okay, yeah.
But it was only like by like 6 or 8 inches, and this was a 5x7 like huge flag. So they even noticed that there was like a ripple on the flag, and they decided to keep it for aesthetic purposes because they were like, oh, this kind of looks cool. Like if it happens, it happens. Like, who cares? We made it to the fucking moon if this is our biggest issue.
So if there's a ripple in the flag, it almost looks like it is waving.
Yeah. So they decided to leave it.
Like an optical illusion, maybe.
Yeah. And so during the actual placement of the flag on the moon, the same occurrence happened, which is what caused the flag to appear like it was like flying in the wind. Also, they were unable to get the flagpole into the moon's surface to the full 18 inches. They were only able to get it about 6 to 8 inches. So
they could have hit a rock or something.
They don't know what. We don't
like what is a train like on the moon?
Who knows at that point? You
know.
So meaning they have no idea if the flag fell over during takeoff. It could still be there or not. Like they don't even know what happened. They have no idea. It could have taken off because it wasn't implanted. And that's all guesstimates, like science and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a fucking scientist.
Yeah.
But, like, they're like, okay, so if there's this much G-force, if we implant this big-ass thing 18 inches down, then hopefully, with it being 10 feet out, it should be okay to not fall over. But with 6 to 8 inches, they're like, ain't gonna... It's a crapshoot. Who knows, you know?
But they got their photo op, so...
So, yeah. The next crew that went to the moon on Apollo 12 had the similar issue, except they couldn't get the rod to erect at a full 90-degree angle.
Wait, they tried to put another flag on?
Yes.
Do they
there's
put
actually
a flag
6
every
time?
Oh.
And there was, like, an issue with that, too, because technically anything in space is supposed to be for all the countries. And so technically we're not allowed to like be like the moon is ours, claim it. You know, like with Antarctica or the how everybody has a pole there, but technically it's like nobody has a pole there because like it's
But I mean, if you are the country that made it all the way there, you should be able to put your flag. Yeah. Then if you want your flag there, you better go there and put your flag.
Yeah, figure it out. Yeah. So the next crew that went was Apollo 12, and they had the similar issue, except they couldn't get the rod to erect at a full 90-degree angle. So the flag was like left droopy.
Aw.
So instead of it going like the first Apollo mission, like Neil Armstrong had an issue with extending it out the top. Yeah. This one had an issue extending up.
Okay, vertically. Versus horizontally.
Horizontally, yeah. No, they had an issue horizontal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it in words. If you haven't figured it out yet, sorry. I'm so sorry, guys.
Well, thinking vertically up and down, horizontally, like...
Yeah, so the horizontal and the vertical, it couldn't go to a 90-degree with the Apollo 12 mission. So the flag was left droopy. So far, there have been 6 successful manned Apollo missions. And there are currently, should be, supposedly 6 flags on the moon, whether they're erect, buried, dead, flown off. Aliens came and took it with them. Who knows?
We're like souvenir.
Yeah. But we have left 6 flags out there, right? Supposedly.
Okay.
So, other than the flag, people say that the lighting isn't quite right for the moon. But remember that they had to develop new technology for low lighting. That was all brand new for the low lighting settings, which could explain the reasoning behind the lighting. People also say the shadows are wrong because the sun should be the only source of light. However, on the moon, at the time they landed and these pictures were taken, it would be daytime, past noon. So if we were to go outside around 4 p.m., you would see our shadows in the same manner. So they're saying because the shadows weren't parallel with each other, it's wrong. But if we were to go outside at 4 p.m. and looked at our shadows, they'd be elongated and they'd almost be touching. It just depends on the horizon and, where that is a very false state. A false, I guess, reasoning.
Okay. See, I'm a little confused, not for your explanation, just because, I don't know how shadows would even fall on the moon from...
Right.
So I'm well, okay,
it all looks good.
Yeah. I don't really know how that would work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't really think about that one. I've heard of it, but I'm at the same time, I'm
But how does everyday people know how a shadow would be on the moon?
Yeah, no. And and another thing is they want to know whether...
Are these scientists saying that it's not right, or just people?
People.
Because what do people know about, how much do they know about science to be able to make that claim?
Yeah, no. And then
That's what I don't understand.
They also want to know why there are no stars.
I have thought about that. I'm not going to lie. I have thought about that because when we're on Earth and we look up, you see stars, you see the moon, you see everything. So I would imagine if I'm standing on the moon and I'm looking up and I can see Earth, when you're on Earth, you can see the moon, you can see stars in the distance.
When you go out at noon, 4 p.m., do you see stars?
But you're in space.
But are you if the sun is facing you?
But
it's
again,
daytime.
Earth is in space too. But
yeah, we are in space.
But it has to do with the Earth's atmosphere.
I was just gonna say,
the moon's atmosphere is different.
Yeah, and there's no atmosphere or water on the moon.
So you should be able to see more clear.
Well, the sky is not blue like here.
So it's not reflective.
It's just black.
Gosh, I'm so confused.
I know. Like I said, I think the video proof is pretty hard to prove if it was done in a studio or not. There are too many variables that we as people on Earth just don't know. We really don't. I'm sure there was some sort of light from the spaceship as well. You know what I mean? Even if, right now it's nighttime outside, if we were to go take a picture outside of us, outside on Earth, would you see stars?
No, but there's a lot of lights, city lights.
Exactly, but even in the desert.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen pictures of me in the desert at night? Have you seen any stars?
Yeah, that's true.
No, it's just because of the truck lights.
It depends on the sky.
Yeah, but just because of the truck lights, you don't see the stars. Just because of the flash on the... You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense because even in the middle of the night when we take pictures of ourselves, you can't see stars.
Because it makes more sense that you might be able to because there is no atmosphere on the moon. There's zero atmosphere on the moon?
No, there is.
It's very low.
It's lower. It's
limited.
I think that I go over it, but it's I think it's somewhere in my notes here.
It's not like ours where we have multiple layers.
No, we have 7 gravitational pull, and the Earth or the moon has 3.
So it's not
it's not as that's why they hop.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't fly away because there is a gravitational, but just it's not even half.
Yeah. Okay.
Or it's less than half. So another so that's the star thing. That's why I don't understand because when we go to the desert and there is none, and you can see so many stars and you can see everything, even though we're out of the city, we're in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I just feel like if there's no clouds.
Okay, but I've been in Montana where there's nothing, and there's a picture of me in Montana. Yeah. In the middle of the fucking Marlboro Ranch with nothing for 18,000 miles or some shit.
And there's no stars.
And there's no stars.
Yeah.
And all that's there is my camera light.
Well, then again, you have to think too how big space is, and it's not like stars are like the way we think about stars.
They're everywhere.
Like everywhere. Stars
Every
are like
star is like a sun,
out,
and a sun is a medium star.
and they're like how many miles away from each other? I don't even know. Like, so you wouldn't see a lot of stars, really.
No, when you think about it, it's like the closest star is like fucking 500 million billion light years away.
Because how many stars do they see in the International Space Center?
Yeah, where are those? Yeah, why aren't they there? Yeah.
I mean, even though they're still technically in our atmosphere.
To me, I'm like, that's so stupid to be like, why isn't there stars? Well, hey, Billy Bob, go out back in your fucking, go out to the ranch and go take a picture.
And also, oh my God, let's talk about how light travels. Think about this. The stars that, when we look up at the sky,
they've been dead
They've been burnt out for like, I don't even know how long. I forget, like, billions of years, thousands of years. Don't quote me. I don't know. But they're not even fucking there anymore. It's the way light travels.
Yeah.
So when you're in space, you're not going to see shit that's not there.
But you're not even that far into space.
I don't know. Yeah. Science,
you know what I mean?
Science is gnarly.
Oh my God, it's giving me a headache.
Science is awesome.
All right, so moving on to the next theory.
Okay.
The next theory suggests that the mission never occurred, and the reasoning behind it is simply to win the space race.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've heard
Fun fact, this was named space race after the term arms race.
What?
Uh-huh.
For like weapons? Like arms?
During the Cold War between the
Russia?
U.S. and the USSR.
Yeah.
Where they were trying to get their hands on nuclear arms first.
Yeah.
On October 4th, 1957, the USSR sent Sputnik 1 to orbit the Earth before U.S. could send one of their own. Sputnik was the first satellite to ever orbit the Earth.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is when the Cold War became galactic. And not only were they in the arms race, but now in a space race. The correlation is so important because U.S. was extremely concerned that the USSR could attack with new technology from space.
Yeah.
USSR came first again when they sent the first human to orbit around the Earth in April 12th, 1961.
They were the first ones.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know
obviously,
that. Wow.
U.S. wasn't going to allow the USSR to win this pissing match.
Oh.
As we know, whose dick is bigger?
Yeah.
On May 25th, 1961, JFK promised America that they would be the first to get a man to the moon by the end of the decade. And they did, within 6 months to spare.
After he said that?
Coincidence?
Maybe he
1961
had some friends in Hollywood,
and then all of a sudden
he did know Marilyn.
Yes. And then July 1969, 6 months to spare.
Yeah,
but did they really go? Was it JFK pulling some strings?
Maybe.
Could the U.S. not allow the USSR to win that big one? They were already 2 for 2. Whomever put the first man on the moon would win it all. Did U.S. just want to win this ginormous pissing contest so they lied? Or did they really do it? The main one that caught my eye is that the astronauts could not have survived the conditions in space.
Ooh.
So then I'm like, okay, this is science. We can do this.
Yeah.
Let's physically figure this out.
What are the facts?
The temperatures, the radiation, the force, all that shit. The astronauts should have been killed during the mission at some point, right?
Yeah.
I've never understood radiation. Like, I just don't fucking understand it. Like, I don't understand what it is, how it is. I just don't get it.
Comes from the sun.
It's like electricity, math, and geography to me. It's not going to happen. I don't get it. And it is what it is. So I took this from the NASA website in regards to the radiation.
Okay.
NASA says, in quotes, the best shields will be able to block a spectrum of radiation. Aboard the space station, the use of hydrogen-rich shielding such as polyethylene in the most frequently occupied locations, such as the sleeping quarters and the galley, has reduced the crew's exposure to space radiation.
Okay.
I don't understand radiation, so I mean, like, literally, like, it's in X-ray machines, but then it's over in fucking, like, whatever Hiroshima or whatever the fucking place that was like nuclear.
In Japan?
You know, Japan. Yeah, like what the fuck? I don't fucking know. So.
Well, there's nuclear radiation, right? From like nuclear
I don't
power.
know what I don't understand.
It's radiation, the way that I understand
and then the atomic bomb, and then people are like, that's radiation.
Yeah.
And it like blows off your skin and shit. Like, I don't get it. But then radiation is used in x-rays to see through you. Like, I don't understand it, and
there's different, that's like a lower frequency or a lower level of radiation. The way that I understand radiation is like, there's like the nuclear radiation with like the bombs and everything, and like the nuclear power plant that like obviously failed for whatever reason. I don't remember the story. Caused massive radiation problems in certain areas of the world. Japan had that happen there and other places. But then there's also the radiation from the sun. And that's why everybody's talking about global warming and the ozone layer, because the radiation coming from the sun will kill us. We can't, our human bodies are not made to withstand. The radiation causes cancer, causes a lot of things, slowly can kill you. Not only just
radiation is used to cure
you.
Cancer.
Well, it doesn't cure cancer.
Or get rid of it.
It doesn't cure cancer. What it does is it zaps the idea is it kills the cells. It zaps it. It not zaps it, but I'm going to expose you to radiation to kill off the bad cells, and you're killing good cells in the process.
You're killing my brain right
That's
now.
why
I don't get it.
People get so sick and stuff from it. It's like when I had...
I get what you're saying.
I had thyroid cancer.
Yeah.
In 2009, and I had to swallow a radiation pill, and it was like because thyroid cancer is a different type of cancer. You don't have to do a full-blown radiation treatments. Sometimes they do them through IVs and different things like that. Mine was a pill I swallowed. And then I swallowed this pill. I could not be around my children, my husband at the time, or anything for like 3 days because I was radioactive.
That's insane.
But I had to quarantine myself in my bedroom to stay away from my children and stuff to protect them. And that was supposed to kill the cancer.
Yeah.
In the thyroid. I ended up having the thyroid removed, and that's a whole nother story and stuff. But it's a low level. It's like a lower dose.
Well, okay, so back to space.
Yeah.
Molly,
I'm trying to help you understand it the best way I can by using personal experiences.
I feel like I just need to go on the Kids Encyclopedia. I love that fucking website.
It's also like, think about a radio wave.
Britannica just helps me so much.
Think about like a radio wave or a microwave.
Yeah,
it's there, you can't see it. It's like that. It's like it's
that's
always
radiation too, right?
It's always coming through.
Yeah.
You just can't see it, you know?
Yeah, just like the Wi-Fi, how I'm always like walking around with the laptop around the studio trying to like...
Yeah, it's like it's there. You just can't see it. Yeah.
So, anyways, they're being exposed to radiation, but like you said, like in smaller amounts. And it's in much smaller amounts than the naysayers think. So they do have radiation blocking materials on board and on their suits. Speaking of their suits, let's look into their spacesuit. Because that was the next thing. NASA calls these suits an EVA suit.
Yeah.
Extra vehicular activity suit.
Yes.
Because they are out of their vehicle while using them. I thought that was cute.
Yeah, I've heard that.
How cute. I even have it written here. That's cute, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Eva, like on Wall-E.
Yeah.
I'm so Disney.
I talked about Eva and the other alien
Oh,
one
did
too.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
These suits are designed to be almost like a tiny spaceship. They receive water.
Evie, not Eva.
Oh, whatever. They receive... the way Wall-E says it, he goes... Eva, even though it's Evie, it's Eve, yeah. These suits are designed to be almost like a tiny spaceship, and they receive water, oxygen, and climate control, like within the suit. And the spacesuit must remain at a comfortable temperature, as well as produce oxygen while removing the CO2. So the astronaut has to be able to move freely within the suit, and each suit is made particularly for that astronaut for that mission only.
Yeah.
Once the suit has gone to space and completed its mission, it can never be worn again. And, like, seriously, like, how cool would it be to get a hold of one of these suits? Just
that
to, like,
makes
have.
Sense. Yeah.
Like, just to be like, dude, this suit was in space.
But I wonder if they got to keep them, you know? Like,
I don't see why not. Like, you can't. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's in, like, it's probably in museums and shit.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
So the inner part of the spacesuit is lined with several layers, at least 30 layers of special nylon material called Kapton. Kapton, it's Kapton. It's not like Captain, like Captain Yahoy.
Yeah.
But it's Kapton. Is a polyamide film material that can withstand extreme cold and extreme heat from negative 269 to 400 Celsius, which equates to negative 452 degrees Fahrenheit to 752 degrees Fahrenheit.
Fuck, space is gnarly.
This shit can go into the fucking, like, oven, no problem. They use Kapton for all things space, from, like, the aircraft, satellites, to the spacesuit. Like, and I was like, what about Brad's fire suit? Like, I wonder if that has, like, the same Kapton material, or, like, firefighters.
What is it made out of? Yeah.
Well, and Brad has to have an S20, so there's 20 layers. Like, this said it has 30. So there's 20 layers on Brad's suit, but, like, if I was to do a door car like I want to and go race 8th mile in the Mustang, it would be 5, an SF5. So it'd only be 5 layers.
Yeah.
That's all that you have to have. But Brad, because the alcohol...
Yeah,
and because he goes so fast and all that, he
Mm-hmm.
has to be at a 20.
So
I think actually he does have to be at 20. But what were you gonna say?
I was just thinking about the spacesuits. Like, as you're talking about that, I'm listening to you, but I'm thinking about the spacesuits and, like, how heavy they must be. Like, how many pounds do these things weigh?
know. It didn't say, actually. That's interesting.
But then the fact that you're in space, you're weightless?
Brad's fire suit weighs 5 pounds, 5 or 8 pounds.
And that's how many layers? 20?
20.
And this is 30, but this is like a helmet and stuff.
Well, but Brad has a helmet. But but that's, I'm just saying the space suit. I mean, not the space, the fire suit.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm just trying to think
I think it's like 5 pounds or so. Because when he weighs the car after if he wins a race, he has to weigh the car to make sure that because the car has to weigh a certain amount with driver and everything in the car. So he, like, puts on his, he has to, like, have everything with him. So after the race,
with everything.
Yeah, he'll go into the car and then just they'll throw he'll hold the helmet and then they'll throw the fire suit, like, just on top of, like, the cowl piece, just to weigh it all together. Because they need to know how much he weighed going across the finish line. Anyways, so there's several layers between the astronaut and the Kapton. So even between the 30 layers and the astronaut, there's even more layers.
Oh, wow.
So those layers, one of the layers is filled with oxygen to keep it flowing, and one layer is used for pressure control so it doesn't smush the astronaut, like the air pressure, the gravity and shit.
Well, think about, like, when you go underneath the ocean. Yeah. And you have to have, like, the pressure controls and stuff, right?
Yeah, even when you go up and, like, to fly, if you have any blood issues, you have to wear the pressure forming socks.
This is fucking space, so
it's even worse. Another one will form to the astronaut, and there's also one that can't be ripped to protect all the layers. Oh. So if they hit anything, then it won't get ripped.
It's not going to tear.
And then in order to keep the actual astronaut at the correct temperature, they put around 300 feet of tiny tubing around their entire body for cold water to flow through. And these tiny tubes are placed all around the astronaut's body inside the suit. They're wrapped all over, excluding the hands, feet, and head. Oh, and that's because that's, like,
for mobility.
Yeah, mobility. Yeah, and there are also vents that can take out any sweat, as it does still, even with the cold water going through, it gets hot in the suits. especially when you're like working out in space.
And then I'm thinking about think about when we all had to wear masks recently because of COVID, and if you wear glasses, as you know,
fogged up.
How do they combat that? Because you think about the breathing, you still have your breath and all these other components.
Yeah.
How does it not get fogged up, or you still, maybe the vents help that?
Yeah, probably the vents. It doesn't actually say that. But I will get into the more technical stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just curious because they have to go out and do these missions in space. Like, what if something fogs up and they can't find their way back because it's like I'm fogged up?
No, there's vents and stuff. That's part of like the oxygen going through and all that.
Okay, yeah.
The upper part of the suit is hard, and the upper part to like almost like armor wear. Like up here, the astronauts have to enter the suit from the back.
Oh.
Because of how hard it is for the compression on, like, their chest to make sure that, like, nothing fucks up their body there.
Oh, okay.
Their gloves are heated, so they're able to be thin enough to use their hands, but thick enough to protect from the elements. And the outer part of the suit is layered with Teflon-coated glass fiber. This, as well as the suit being white, will help reflect the sun's heat away from the astronaut and the rays and everything.
Okay,
so it just keeps everything. Yeah. The backpack they have is called the life support system, and it carries the oxygen, water, as well as the communication devices so they can talk to each other.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's important. Yeah.
And then the helmets obviously get oxygen pumped into it, but there's also a foam piece inside the helmet so they can scratch their nose.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's like a little foam piece so they can like be like a cat, and scratch their nose.
I guess that would be really distracting.
Oh my god, because you're like, isn't that funny?
That would be so weird.
Isn't that weird though? Like, not your cheek, not your forehead, because everybody always has to scratch their nose.
They thought about that, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like for the
I've touched my nose like a bunch of times.
I know, and so it's just like it's a human thing to touch it. I don't know why, but. So, if...
You're like, is my face still there?
So that's why I'm like, I think that they probably thought of the fogging up thing. That was probably like number one. If they thought about the nose thing, they for sure know all about the fogging up thing.
Or maybe that actually helped too, because it was getting kind of like, what if their nose is drippy or something?
Yeah.
And they, like, wipe their nose?
Yeah.
Wow.
As I'm like...
I know.
I thought that was like super cute too. Like they have like a little like scratching pad. So they've thought of everything. And with that being said, I think it's safe to say that they have thought of everything in order to send someone safely and comfortably to space. So
it's been very thought out and planned.
Yeah. So I mean, like, what do you think? Do you think that they've gone to the moon? Do you think it was all a hoax? Like, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I think so many things about it that, like, I feel like we'd have a part, like, 20 and keep going and going and going.
I know, because you were like, I was like, oh, this is going to be a quick one. And you're like, how? It's the moon landing. I'm like, well, because I'm only, like, really, like, we've all, like, done this. Like, we've all thought about it and stuff. And I just want to do, like, the main ones. And really, we don't know, like, what happened. Or, you know, the only real coincidence is that JFK did say, by the end of the decade, we're going to send a man to the moon. And he barely made it.
I mean, I have seen, and I know that we watched together some videos that people were basically like, I don't know who they were, but they were basically pestering different...
Buzz Aldrin.
They were full on pestering them.
Yeah, they were like news reporters, and they were like ABC News, and they were like news people that were bothering Buzz Aldrin and different astronauts to be like, and they were like hounding them like outside of a hotel one time. I think they were like, also going on an airplane
almost
or something.
Like a paparazzi would
they swear on the Bible,
I'll give you $5,000 if you swear on this Bible. And it's like, dude, this
man just got like $5 million to go to the moon or some shit in like the 40s or the 60s.
Actually, Buzz Aldrin said that he only got paid $35.
Oh, bull.
No, he did. There's like an interview.
I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, like it was like his $35 was his well, this was back in what year? $35 was
it don't matter what year. I don't care if it was like 1700. $35 is not enough to go to the moon.
No, but like he had
they spent $2.25 million on on the camera.
I will look it up. But yeah, he said that he had like a $35 per diem or something to go to the moon. Like it was like a joke he made. Like
yeah, well, he's
some
joking.
kind of joke.
Then,
I don't know if he said per diem, but like some kind of joke.
Well, let me run down the references really quickly.
Yeah.
NASA. All right, so here are my references. Fast forward a minute if you want to. They're not that long, but NASA.gov article, July 20th, 1969, One Giant Leap for Mankind, July 20th, 2019. History collection, jsc.nasa.gov article, quotes, where no flag has gone before, political and technical aspects of placing a flag on the moon, by Ann M. Pladoff, October 11th, 1992. Airanspace.si.edu article, quote, how we saw Armstrong's first steps, by Jennifer Levasseur, July 8th, 2019. Kids.kiddle.co page, Space Race Facts for Kids, copyright 2023. I'm telling you, like, the kids, like, Britannica and all the kid books, like, seriously, they, like...
It's an easy read.
It's an easy read, and then from there I can, like...
Elaborate
like, and go look further. But, like, for the simple shit, don't hate me. I'm giving you guys information, okay? Doesn't matter how I get my information. It's facts. All right? www.rmg.co.uk article, Moon Landing Conspiracy Theories Debunked, by staff at Royal Museums Greenwich. www.skyatnightmagazine.com article, How Astronauts Survive the Extreme Conditions in Space, by Gary Hunt, May 3rd, 2023. That's a new one. Mm-hmm. NASA.gov article, Spacewalk Spacesuit Basics, October 14th, 2019. And that one was very interesting because it actually has all of the diagrams and stuff, and we'll post those. All of, like, the diagrams of the spacesuit and, like, almost like the engineering planning and, like, how it all works and the layers and everything. And I got that from the NASA.gov Spacewalk Spacesuit Basics. And that was very interesting to see, like, the visual. And they should have put that on the kiddie one.
So going back to some other thoughts I have about the moon in general, not necessarily the moon landing, whether we were there or not or whatever. Although I did see in multiple interviews where Buzz Aldrin said that, like, alluded to that they actually never went to the moon. I don't know. People say it's misinterpretation, and people say that a lot of those interviews were, like, cut to make it sound like he said things that he didn't say.
I believe that.
If you watch the interview in its entirety, they'll say, like, it's taken out of context.
Yeah.
But it's still a conspiracy show, so I'm still gonna say that there are those out there, whether they're, like, not, you would say it's CGI, it's not CGI, whether it would be cut and paste to make it to their agenda for their conspiracy or whatever, I don't know.
It is a conspiracy.
You can look up yourself. But there's also, like, one or two...
We also want the facts.
Yeah, but there's one or two other things that, like, I've heard that we're not going to obviously go on because I did no research, and this is just kind of like my little end thoughts, is, one, the moon is not like a moon like it used to be like a planet, and then now it's like what it is like over time. You know what I mean? That because science. If you look at like you know how they say like the dinosaurs were here X amount of years ago. Well, they say like, well, the moon used to look like this X amount of years ago, and now it looks like this. Like the moon used to like look like Earth, like billions and billions and billions or whatever years ago, and now it is what it is because of whatever happened to it over time. Like that's scientific facts. I'm not saying them correctly, but you can look into it
That's
more.
That's scientific facts. I'm not saying it's facts. No, but God damn it, it's like, scientific facts.
I'm kind of like, not making it up, but it's like,
You've heard
like
it somewhere.
It used to look differently than what it does now.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what exactly it looked like before,
everything,
but it looked differently before.
Different. I looked different before.
Yeah. So, but I've heard further conspiracy or claims that it's actually not even like was a planet or is a moon or a sat. It's actually like hollow. That it's actually like artificially placed there by extraterrestrial beings, and it is like kind of like somewhat not watching us, but like something like that. And then what about the claims that on the dark side of the moon there's alien bases? So it all goes back to aliens for me.
It's all connected. Oh my God. We should figure out what's on the dark side of the moon.
I would be really curious to try to research it more and see if there's actually any concrete evidence of anything.
I always just figure, like, the dark side of the moon, like, didn't Pink Floyd do a song about the dark side of the moon or something?
I think that Pink Floyd did sing about the moon, but I don't know if they did a whole song about it or if it was just like a part of the song. I don't remember.
That's all I know about the dark side of the moon. So, does anybody else know about the dark side of the moon?
I don't know. Supposedly there's aliens over there.
Well, I think that the Mars rover should probably get its booty back to our, like, little atmosphere thing and go
over
the
to the
moon and
start roving around.
Yeah, rove around that moon and go fetch something.
Go to the dark side.
And go to the dark side, rover. Go, fetch it. Fetch some moon rocks. Some aliens. I don't know. What do you think the dark side of the moon would be? It'd be so cold. I wonder if it's like all like icy.
Oh, ooh, that's a good point.
Like Antarctica, Alaska.
The sun is not shining on it, so it would be colder possibly.
I wonder why nobody's tried to go over there. But there is a theory about that. That the moon is just like a projection and there's actually no other side of it. If the earth is flat.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother thing.
I know, flat, but that's part of why we only see one side of the moon when everything else, like, orbits and circles around.
Well, flat earthers believe, if I'm not mistaken, that there is a sun and there is a moon, but they're in the firmament, I think is how you say the word, inside the dome of Earth. They're not in space. So
just like the Simpsons movie?
I believe that the Simpsons movie did some kind of not prediction, but some kind of, the Simpsons are always predicting things and always talking about things that are conspiracies or, things that...
They're predictive, like what's going to happen next. But the movie did have it where they were in, somehow Homer fucked up and they ended up in a dome.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what flat earthers believe among themselves, that the earth is flat and there's a dome and that the sun and the earth are real, but they are not as far away as scientists say they are, and that they're underneath the dome, which is also known as the firmament.
So, question.
And that has to do with the Bible and somehow. And it's written in the Bible that is how the earth is.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes, because the flat earthers are Christians. I don't know if they all are, but it goes back to, they always go back to the Bible as their source. The Bible is their source.
Well, the Bible's everybody's source to be like, see. So if you want to be a Bible thumper, then you have to believe in this because it says it here that you have to to try to make Bible people.
But there's so many different religions and so many different beliefs, and it's like you're talking about the entire planet. Not everyone has the same.
I know, it's so funny because so many people we're just so egotistical that we believe that the earth, like a lot of people believe that like everything surrounds us, and we're so fucking tiny in America. And then we're so tiny as a planet, unless we're in a dome, I guess. Then we're not that tiny. Okay, so
it would be a massive dome if we were in a dome. It would be like
my thing huge. What my question always is when it comes to any conspiracies is why? What is the purpose of telling people that we are this spinning globe if we're not?
To hide the truth of the Bible, to discount and discredit the God. That's what they believe. They believe that science is like.
But I know so many atheists that are flat Earth believers.
So then they have their own reasons, but the only one I've known of is the biblical
You know what this means, right?
We're going to have to dive into flat Earth.
I can't.
I will.
I can't.
I will because I don't.
I can't.
Really?
I can't.
Oh, okay. I can do it. But the thing is I don't know enough about the Bible to use the Bible, but I'll just have to source. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be what I believe. It's just what I find, so.
I legit cannot even wrap my head around it because there's no why.
I mean, I'm not against the Bible. I'm actually baptized Lutheran, and I consider myself Christian.
Me too.
I consider myself Christian.
It's so funny.
And I believe in Lutheran God, and I believe in Jesus. But, like, I don't know how flat Earth relates to that in the Bible.
Either.
Like, I don't understand that. I never was taught that by my parents or anything.
I have a friend who is totally like flat Earth, and I actually gave you some of his books that he left behind.
Yeah.
So we'll invite him when we do the flat Earth.
Ooh, that would be good.
Episode, because he will be totally down. But I think because I've talked to him so much about it that I can't even dive into it. I can't even entertain the idea.
It's not even interesting to hear another perspective on it?
Yes, it is interesting, but I've already heard it for years.
Oh, I haven't. So to
I'm
me,
done.
it's fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll call him. I'll call him.
It's like triggering to you, I can tell.
I'm all like, yeah.
Really?
No, it's not like that. It's just like.
Okay. Well, I'm totally like non-biased. Like, I'm not like either way for it. Like, I don't know. Like,
it's not triggering. Yeah. It's just like.
Like, if you
I
believe
just don't
in
understand.
it, cool. If you don't, okay.
Yeah, I don't care either way, but I just don't understand the purpose of, like, why would everybody lie? What would be the government's purpose? Because I'm always like, what's the reason? Everybody has a motive. What would
why
be
would
the
they
motive?
lie about the Earth being round?
Why would they care? What's the motive? I want the motive.
Oh, so
that's why I'm always trying to get to the facts, because the media has a motive. They're bought and paid for. Okay, so we'll bring you the facts. What is the motive to lie about the Earth being flat, round, whatever?
Well,
I want the motive. So with no motive that I can see, I can't even. So like with the moon landing, there was motive. JFK promised. They wanted to beat the USSR. Yeah. Like, you know, there was motive.
To possibly fake it.
To fake it.
Yeah.
Motive. I can do that. I can, okay, perfect. But with no motive.
Okay, so how about
I'm a detective, damn it.
Okay, so how about this? How about this? You know how there's another conspiracy that says that the world elites are part of the Illuminati, or if not Illuminati, some kind of satanic cult,
whatever
thing.
Yeah.
Well, if they're for Satan, wouldn't they want to lie to you about what the planet and Earth and where you are really is about, because they want Satan to win over the power between good and evil, God and that.
I understand.
So maybe that's their motive.
But I understand all that. But whether the Earth is round or flat does not discredit if God and Satan and hell and heaven are real or not.
Yeah,
because actually
the Earth, that side of it.
Yeah, I don't think it goes either which way for that.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can see that too. I mean, I haven't. Yeah. I'm just saying something that I've seen online.
See, you've looked at more of it. All I've had is my friends. Like,
I haven't really looked at a lot of it.
But like, you've heard more than I have.
I've just heard that, like, for example, like, because when I was doing the research for HARP, and you know how we were talking about the different atmosphere layers, and how the very last layer is like halfway to the moon. Yeah. So it brings up halfway to the moon, and that would be like the end of the dome. Yeah. Okay. Well, then that wouldn't put the moon inside the dome. That would put the moon outside of the dome. Yeah. And then that kind of discredits the flat Earth. So, like, everything, when I was looking up different things because everything is related, it was bringing up flat Earth things were coming in too. So I was like, oh, that kind of discredits flat Earth there. Like, if you're using science, like, well, how could the moon be outside of the dome? Yeah. If they believe it's inside the dome. And little things like that would pop up. And so I was constantly just like getting little cherry. No, I wasn't cherry picking it, but just little things were just popping out at me about the subject. So I've like I have all these little bits and pieces filed away, like to look more into it. But I haven't done the dive into it.
Yeah, in my head, anytime I see any of those little pieces, I'm like, nope.
It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, I throw away the puzzle pieces.
No, I want the puzzle pieces.
I don't want those ones.
Why?
I don't know.
I feel like
I'm biased against it right now.
Oh, okay.
Just because like I've like
you think it's too ridiculous of a topic?
I don't know, just solely because of my friend.
Oh gosh, just who is this friend? They must have really tried to like harp this into you, like.
No, it was just like such a long running thing at work, and like it was just like a long running thing that I'm just like nope.
Okay.
I don't want anything like.
Well, maybe I won't do an episode on it. No,
you should. I will have him come.
Okay.
I can have him come.
Yeah, because I will need somebody to like give me more information.
Bounce off of.
Well, no, I just need more information.
He should be a person in here while we do this.
I don't have a lot of information. The other thing that
you don't need any. He has all of it.
Well, but then we need somebody like us that doesn't know a lot about it, so we can kind of try to go back. He can't just monopolize it and just say it's real. We need to like have a non-biased person, like to be able to be like, well, what about this?
Oh, what the fuck? Yeah.
Like I just said, like, well, how is it possible if the moon is outside of that would be outside of the dome?
Yeah.
So that doesn't add up.
All right.
Right?
Well,
but
anyways.
The other thing, the last thing I want to say about the flat earth thing is another thing that they claim is that, when the rockets go to space. Uh-huh. You know how in the HARP episode, again, because I learned in HARP, I just didn't mention this in the HARP because we weren't, but now we're talking.
We did talk about that though,
not
how they didn't really go to space. That's why they say, we've never been to space because they haven't gone that far.
But this even goes even farther. The flat earthers believe it goes even farther to the point where the reason why we haven't gone past our last atmosphere is into the void of space is because we can't penetrate the dome. There's no way to penetrate it. So when the rockets go up, they have there's been videos that have been circulating where it sounds like the rocket goes up because they're always like videoing it and it like hits something
it's like boing.
And it sounds like it hit something and it sounds like it's underwater because there's this whole thing like as above as below where it's like if it's like a mirror image almost. So they're saying that like in the firmament above it's water. Like it's water, and that's why stars and stuff, they're not like actual, like stars are gas and stuff. It's not like an actual like solid, like a table, like obviously it's not a table, but it's not like that mass. It's like a collection of gases and all kinds of different things where it's like actually like translucent, like not hologram, but like, like you can like see through it, like not see through it. I'm not describing it properly.
Wait,
but that's why it's underwater, so it has that like that glow to it. Like when you look at something underwater,
iridescent glow.
Yeah.
What if?
So I don't know.
What if the dome is real? Because I can play both sides. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But what if the dome is real, and it's not stars, but it's actually like a mirror image, like you said, not mirror, but what's up and down and below and whatever, and it's reflecting.
Well, I don't know if it's a mirror, but
whatever. But it's reflecting our own city lights.
Ooh, yeah.
Or what if when the rockets go up and they do penetrate that wall, what if it's just a circle and it leads you right back into our ocean, and that is a U.S. whatever. Oh, yes.
But then again, we've been seeing. Well, they've been seeing quote unquote stars in the sky.
I was already thinking that since.
But
like,
no,
Greece,
that's a fun one though. Yeah.
I know. So I'm like, I can play any which way.
This is how like I think.
This is how conspiracies start.
This is how conspiracies start, yeah.
We are feeding into the conspiracies.
And then that gets into the whole ice wall and what Antarctica really is.
All right, and that's all for tonight.
And other land masses and everything
Thank you for listening, and please share and like. And what does your spiel go?
Did we really go to the moon?
No, not that.
Oh.
And share, like.
Share, like, subscribe, follow. And if you have any information on the flat earth, please send it to me because I'm going to need all your information for my episode. Because I don't know anything, obviously.
And email us all of your phenomenal fan encounters at conspiracies unlocked at gmail.com. Thanks. Bye.